Hey everybody, Guy Willie here with Sierra Gold Miners. I'll tell you what, we're having a great time here in the backyard. My last video I just ran, we were talking about how set up with the gold cube. I'll back out of the way here and kind of give you an idea of the recirculating system I set up. This is a follow up on the last video. We're on the dirt, so we're going to take the gold cube over to my cleanout station. And hopefully my camera lady won't crash on me as she's backing up, walking backwards. But anyway, as you can see the dirt is all here. It's just as we left it after I finished the last one. Dirt's still in here, water's in here, everything is as is. So with that being said, we're going to pull these apart here. I'm only going to do the top two because you know what they say about the gold cube, right? Cube it or lose it. So the bottom line is trying to give everybody a full view on the process. Alright, there's sunshine coming around the corner. Smile! Alright. So we're still moving around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set these down right here. Alright. And I'm going to take the top rack off. And we're going to bring that top rack over here. And I'll have the camera going. We're going to drop this down into the water. And we'll drop this down in, and so you kind of get an idea what's going on. Alright, so I got my hose here. Pretend you're out in the river. I got my hose here, and we're just going to turn this on and knock all this down into the gold pan. And you can kind of get an idea. You can see all that dirt we ran back up in here. You can see all this. This is all we're going to call black sand concentrate. So whatever comes out of here is where we're going to find the gold. And also down in the tray. I showed you in the last video that we had quite a bit of gold that was showing up already. And so this is tray number 1, officially cleaned out and dropped into the gold pan. I'm just going to set it over here and pick up the other one, and we'll run number 2. Same scenario. Again, we got some good columns back up in here. You can kind of see where we're looking. Gold cube running good. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hose this out, drop it into the pan. Kind of get an idea. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is, I know one of my other videos shows the gold spiral. It's the blue spiral going. So we got all that cleaned out. Whoop, got all that cleaned out, and we're good to go. But one of my other videos is the gold spiral. The blue spiral runs reverse, pulls the gold up. Normally, what I would do with my cons is I'd take those cons and I'd run them through my gold spiral, because it's a little more effective than panning. A lot of times when you're panning, you think you're getting the good stuff out and keeping the good stuff. But as I found in my experience, a lot of times you wind up losing some of that gold while you're panning. Especially me, because sometimes I'm a little impatient and I kind of like to get to the gold quick. So with that being said, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and start doing a little panning. The reason I do it in a tub like this is so that if I do lose any gold, I can recollect the dirt, and then I can rerun that dirt back into the spiral. So with that, without further ado, as you can see, that gold cube, we got quite a bit of good concentrate. So this is why I usually will run this. And get a close-up of that. What I'll usually do is I'll run this in through the, again, like I said, through the spiral, because this is all black sand. You can see this black sand. And I got to tell you, where there's black sand, there's gold, people. Where there's black sand, there's gold. You get into an area where you've got a lot of black sand, and you run in your pan, and you find that black sand, you will find gold. As you can see, this is all black sand up in here. All this black sand. A lot of heavy black sand. So, this came out of a claim up in Tuolumne County that I recently just sold. But this was my last dirt from my last trip when it was my claim. And so I decided to go ahead and run it. And as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and pan out. So there's a lot of different ways people like to pan. So panning lesson number 1. Keep the pan up into the water. Leave it under the water. And I like to do a little wrist action shake. And as you can see, if you zoom up on this, you can see the angle of your shake. You can kind of get an idea that you know, if you get real close on the camera there, you can see that dirt is moving out. And you can see, I'm going to pull it out now. Look at all the black sand that came out of that dirt. You guys saw in the other video, there wasn't that much spoon and scoops of dirt, but that's how much black sand is up here at this claim. And this all came out of a certain crack. That's why the name of the claim was called Miner's Crack. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just expedite this just a little bit. Kind of get an idea. You know, you can kind of see, I'm just rocking. A lot of people like to circle. You know, a lot of people do this big circle thing and, you know, and all this kind of stuff. I like to shake it up. You know, I like to, you can see obviously the water's getting a little bit cloudy because the dirt was there. And, you know, dirt is dirty. So you're going to lose a little bit of black sand this way. That's why I like to do it in one of these tubs. Because when I do it in one of these tubs, then anything that I might shake out by, you know, my impatience, it's being collected. So then I can rerun that whole thing right back through the gold spiral. A lot of comments on the gold spiral while I was you know, videotaping that. It's a short, you know, and I know that, but I gotta tell you, here's the deal. The spiral is a reverse spiral. It's made that way specifically. It's made for a specific set angle, and there's multiple brands out there. I'm a big fan of the aftermarket brand of the gold spiral, primarily because I like the adjustments. It's got a fine-tuned adjustment on the angle, and that allows for a different angle to be able to collect a little more of the black sand. You can watch the black sand go up the spiral a little bit farther. Plus, once you have it set, you know, it's a single speed, but once you have it set, you can also adjust how much black sand goes up based on how much water you got going through there. A lot of comments on the last video on that spiral about it running too fast or the wrong angle. I gotta tell you, it's set up. They have a template to use. You set it up. You set the template up. Everything is straight square. It's perfect the way that it's supposed to be based on the instructions. And so, with that said, the other cube that's out, or I'm sorry, spiral that's out there, is the spiral that is made by Camel. It's a Pro Camel, I believe. I don't care for that one that much, only because the adjustment is, you don't have that fine adjustment on the angle of the appliance. So, of the spiral itself. So, without further ado, we'll do some more panning here. Finish this up. So again, a lot of different people do things a lot of different ways when it comes to panning. I like to keep it pretty much liquefied. I like the concept of liquefaction. That's a good term. You can kind of see, it's a little dirty, but you can see there's still a lot of gravel type sand. Not so much black sand, but you know, there's different kinds of sand. So there's still some dirt here. So what I'll do is I'll do a little rock like this, and that takes and gets rid of that lighter material. Remember, the sand is heavier. The black sand is heavier than the rocks even. And so again, you shake it up again, kind of get it all back in here, mix it up, get all that stuff mixed up, and then you just sit there and you're just basically doing the shake. You're gonna lose some of the black sand. There's no question about that. But at the same time, you're getting down to where you really want to get down to it. So I'm getting close. I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and as far as getting rid of stuff. And what I'll do is I'll bring it back here, and you can kind of get an idea. So when I say kind of get an idea, you get an idea of the lighter stuff. The lighter stuff is going to fall down. All right, as you can see, that's a ton of black sand. I'm just going to run my finger through it so you can get an idea. That's a ton of black sand. And then again, remember what I said, where there's black sand, there is gold, folks. So, that being said, there's a technique I learned, again, one of my good friends, the co-inventor of the gold cube, Mike Pung, I went to one of his seminars at one of the gold shows, and he showed me this technique and this little trick. Put enough water in your pan, and a lot of people like to just do the spiral thing and move the heavies and it's okay, it works, but it's not as efficient as the tap and the wave. Think of a alluvial sluice, right? It starts out narrow and it goes out, and then as it goes out, that water slows down. So here we go. All right, so I'm going to do this. Here's the tap. The tap, as you can see, the pan has an angle. You don't want to tap this way into the pan. You want to tap down to the angle. So you want to tap like this at that angle. So what that does is you can, I'm going to put a little clean water in here so we can get a better view of this. So I got my hose here. So I'm going to go ahead and add some clean water, because then you'll be able to see a little bit better the concept of what I'm talking about when it comes to this panning technique. Okay, got some clean water. Now you can kind of see a lot of black sand. Watch as I tap. You'll see the light stuff and start to move around. So I'm just going to tap over here. You see all those rocks moving? I'm not shaking it. I'm just tapping. You see all that moving around? Doesn't mean aggressively tap it. Don't just lightly tap it. Get that dirt moving. Get that stuff out of the way. What that does is it moves. Yeah, I already see gold right here. There's a piece of gold right there at my fingertip. All right, so we got gold in here. Well, that's good news. But what it is the gold is heavier than these rocks. The gold is heavier than the black sand. So if you can move the black sand by tapping on this edge, then what you're going to accomplish is that black sand is going to move over there with it. All right, so another technique along with this is the ocean wave. Okay, so I'll put this over here in a little bit of the sunlight. Move around here so you can kind of see. And you can kind of get a look. So I'll have my cameraman over my shoulder, so you can kind of see. So a lot of people again like to do the swirl. Well, rather than doing the swirl, do the ocean wave. Watch how fast. Everything that's light is going to move. Even the black sand will move. All right, so now what I'll do, I want the gold to stay up there. I'm going to liquefy it. I'm going to tap it. All the heavies are falling underneath this black sand. So now I'll do my little swoosh. There's my ocean wave. Back and forth on the wave. You can see things are moving. Big rocks are coming down. A lot of black sand here. Oh my gosh, I hope we got a lot of gold, because this is a lot of black sand. All right, so you go through that process, and then once you've got that, you go back over to your river, your tub, whatever it is, and you can get rid of this stuff that's fallen down. Why? Because it's the lighter. So what I'll do is I'll just get rid of all this. Yes, there's some black sand in there. It's going to happen. There's no question about it. But again, keep in mind what I said, okay? When I'm doing this in this type of a pan for the specific reason. I can rerun it through my blue spiral, okay? So, going to go back in here, get some more dirt, move it around. All right, so let's see what we got here. You know, I'm going to do my tap, and I'm going to do a little bit of a shake. I call this the river shake, because, you know, you're anxious, you want to get there. I'm going to go ahead and add some clean water again so we can kind of get an idea. And add some clean water. And just remember what I said, folks. When there's black sand, there will be gold. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of shaking, because I know we're going to have some gold in here. And then I'm going to do some tapping, get that gold over in that corner where I want it to be. Just keep in mind, wherever you tap, that's where the heavy gold is going to go. If I tapped over here, you could watch it crawl all the way across. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and back and do my little swoop. Go back and do my little swoop, and I'm already seeing gold, guys. I am already seeing gold. And everybody's asking me, where's the gold? There it is. There it is. That is just an amazing amount of gold. Keep in mind, this is coming from a good gold claim, and I'm happy to have been the owner of this claim since 2016, and we're moving on, and we're moving to something bigger and better. So I got to tell you, folks, this has been an exciting adventure. This is part 2 of part 1. And you know what part 1 was? Running the dirt through the cube. I got to tell you, and I agree with Mike Punk. Cube it or lose it. That's his motto. And I'll tell you what, if I didn't cube it, I definitely would lose it. You got Willie here with Sierra Gold Miners. Gold in the pan, signing off.